All right, Councilman Thomas.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of time on this one. You know, there comes a time that you should be correcting mistakes made. You shouldn't be too proud to correct a mistake when you know it's not working. And paid parking in this town is not working. It's costing the taxpayers in this town a bundle, far more than the old SAD that we had there before. This current year we're in, we're running a $1.2 million deficit. That's a subsidy from the taxpayers of Dearborn to keep this operation going. All started because of the Jumbo and Dumbo, the two white elephants sitting there in the parking decks. It all started for that, now to pay for them. So it was put on the merchants and the bar owners and the restaurants in West Dearborn, a public pay-to-park scheme, and that's what it was. Well, it sure didn't work for the Jumbo and Dumbo out there, and it's not working for the restaurants and bar owners in West Dearborn today.
Yeah, but Councilman Thomas.
No, wait a minute, let me finish, please.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry.
I mean, you will have plenty of time to digress on this after, if you want to.
I'm not arguing today.
You know, this thing was put in when the city fathers knew that Allen Park was going in. Not only do the West End merchants and the East End merchants have to worry about Fairlane, which was the reason you had paid parking in Dearborn to start off with back in the early 70s, because the people in town that owned these particular facilities were very, very cognizant of the fact that they had free parking at Fairlane. In order to compete with them, they needed to have free parking in Dearborn. So they put the meters in and then took them out because of that. Now, in the meantime, what have we had? We have Allen Park coming aboard. Again, free parking. Our retail is gone, but not because of paid parking necessarily. It sure hasn't helped any. Economic conditions were one of it, and part of the way the changing moves. Now that you got the way of being able to order by computer, you've also got the big box stores and also the department stores. The day of a department store being in downtown is gone. So Dearborn will not be the town it was and we all grew up in. That day is gone. So what do we have to substitute for? Restaurants and bars, which is a nice adjunct to it, because if you ever go to Williamsburg, Virginia, and see what they have down there, about the same capacity of tourists that go to Williamsburg go to Henry Ford Village. And yet, in that town, there's a vibrant downtown that connects to it. Now, we have the same thing here, but no one's done anything about it. The main entrance to the Henry Ford Village area is off of Oakwood Boulevard. That's where the parking lots are. Now, anyone that comes in to see this attraction parks in those parking lots, and when they're done, they get in that car. And once they get in that car, they're lost to West Dearborn completely. The entrance to this particular area of the Henry Ford should be off of Michigan Avenue at Elm Street, across from where parked, was the Anna Owens, and of course now you've got the Jack Demmer Lincoln Mercury. That should be the entrance to the Henry Ford, because if people can park there when they're done, viewing at the museum and so on and so forth, they can walk into town and avail themselves of our bars and restaurants. So when you look at Dearborn, it's going to be a bar and restaurant town by necessity, and some souvenir shops. The day of having and expecting the Jacobsons to come back is gone. Never coming back. Now, we're blessed in this town because we got some very good taxpayers. Ford Motor, Severstal Steel is going to have a $900 million addition, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
We still have a good tax base, but our downtown is shot, and paid parking hasn't helped it. It's time to admit to ourselves and get off of this point that we can make it work, that the Jumbo and Dumbo is going to pay for. One or two things happen. I would like to see this council go on record and have put on paid parking again on the ballot.
You know what,
okay? Number one, if you're not doing that, we're prepared to go another, we're prepared to go another petition.
I'm unhappy with the paid parking as everyone else, only because I think the majority of the reason is because we've made so many changes, and personally, I think, we've littered the street with signs. I hate all those signs.
The things about the change have been made because it's been so unsuccessful. and they're still grasping. And
And
what
we're
should we
working
do
on it,
now?
Councilman.
What, could we put free parking on St. Patty's Day?
Councilman,
Should we
we
have
need to work on
half-day
it.
parking on a Saturday? Should we have this? Should we have that? It's all fair.
Well, Joe, I guess, I'll just give you a businessman's perspective. You guys said the SADs were comparable to like the new SADs that Lapita and New Place Lounge got. But unfortunately, I opened a business 13 years ago. This might be my unlucky 13. That I opened a business 3 blocks away from these parking structures, which now I own the debt on for some ungodly reason. We've all come to this agreement
Reason is
that,
you're in the district.
well, ask the Kernans, ask Chelios, that none of our customers really use those decks, all right? But
Okay,
unfortunately,
but
we're in the district. I agree with you on that, all right?
Because you're in the district, and one business feeds another, and it's a total picture.
It should be all of Dearborn or none.
you go.
The New Place Lounge, Lapita, these people, the same people that come to lunch in my neighborhood are the same people that eat lunch over there. So that, to say that 3.5, 4 blocks of West Dearborn, this island, in the entire city is the only part that's get paid parking is kind of crazy.
We're just arguing about something.
Nothing you can do to
No,
it.
you brought it up and do a petition drive and get it on the ballot. It's that simple.
Why should it go to the homeowners? This is a business district.
It went to the voters.
It went to the
already.
voters last
So
time.
you gotta
I mean,
check.
that's,
The amount of the subsidy
That's
is more
seven
like
customers
4 to
I don't have.
500,000, not 1.2. That's the gen-
alone for jumbo and
No, that's the
My
general
restaurant,
tax. That's
it
the
was-
general
it was
tax
during a
contribution to
crisis
that.
time, too.
I mean,
We
we're
make
throwing around a lot of things.
Don't tell me that these lots are for...
I want to point out. I'm sorry. I have to be recognized.
Mayor.
They are wrong, but I'd like to make another point. The speaker spoke of Kernan's and Chelly's. They both have their own parking lots, although maybe not adequate, but they have their own parking lots, and they have to pay the insurance, the upkeep, the maintenance, and all that on their own lots. So they're very good comparisons because they have to pay the liability insurance and all those things which come out of their pocket and is a cost of doing business for them. And the important thing is that Kernan's, for example, even though they have their own parking on site, certainly enough to manage the crowds today, at lunch now, they have closed their dining room and have only the bar section open because the diminishment. The diminishment is not due to paid parking. It's due to the fact that Ford Motor Company... Yes, the speaker just did. Thank you. I'm listening. I heard him say that. He said it was due 100% to the paid parking. I'm going, no. Ford Motor Company made tremendous changes in their policies on lunch hour for their white-collar workers in the Design and Engineering Center. They have half-hour and 45-minute lunches. I don't care where you want to go, you cannot go into a restaurant that has a traditional dining room to achieve that. That was a huge loss for us.
Then let's can't come here and crucify us for an action that we tried to help the businesses out. And paid parking, it's a tough issue, but somebody's got to pay for it. I mean, if
We would love to have
If
an
we go back to
opportunity.
the SAD,
Can I organize the business people to get to an SAD, and you guys want to figure it out, and then the next council meeting, we'll get on the agenda and see if we can get...
for what?
If we can go back to an SAD in this lot.
Joel, have to include the debt service on it.
Yeah, the problem is we went to a completely different
So we have to
system.
pay for the decks. That's the final story?